I received a message a while back inquiring if I would be interested in receiving a box of vintage lace. So when I opened the package and discovered that there was also dresses inside of the box, I was quite surprised. This one here is a cotton, what I believe is cotton, very sheer kind of gauze-like material, and I believe that that is hand embroidered. And here are some of the lovely linens and lace pieces, and I guess some of them were handmade by her grandmother. That is just a lovely assortment of linens and laces. Here is the other garment that was in there, and this I also believe to be from the 1910s, and I later found out that it was worn by the donor for her wedding in 1982 and originally worn by her grandmother. How sweet is that? So my plan for each of the dresses is on this first one here that I'm calling the eyelet dress is just to do a basic cleaning and try to remove that stain. That one's actually in really good shape. This one here definitely needs some more work. It had a really tiny 22-inch waist that looked to have been rebuilt already at some point in the past. I believe somebody took off the waist and made it shorter. So I'm going to first start here with the eyelet dress. And like I said, it was actually in really good shape. There was just one stain, of course, it's always right down the front. And I just wanted to try to kind of do a more minimal approach for the stain removal. And I just did an attempt with baking soda and water and let it dry and rinsed it off. And though it helped, it definitely did not take care of the stain. So I thought I would try washing it next. So I did retro wash and I do 1 tablespoon, and this is cotton, so I could do a fairly warm temperature on this. The ribbon that's in there is newer vintage. I'm guessing that was done in the 80s for her wedding, so it's not original to the dress, and I'm not concerned about color bleed on it. So I'm just putting it in retro wash, and I did a 1-hour soak, and then I rinsed it well, and you can see the water has changed color, which is always a good sign. So I'm going to bump up that stain removal and do my go-to of hydrogen peroxide, Dawn, and baking soda. I do a solution of the two and then add on the baking soda, and I let it sit for an hour and rinsed it off, and that did the trick. So again, rinsed it well, put it on a mesh rack until it was no longer dripping, and then let it towel roll. So this cleaned up beautifully. And this actually, the fabric's in quite good condition. I only had to do 1 repair to an area of the lace, but look at how sweet that is. And I love these tiny little buttons on the back that are kind of crocheted buttons. So now that that's done, let's move on to the embroidered dress. So when I decided to take it apart, and it's very kind of hard to see here, but it's a real faint pink. So I believe at one time, there was a pink underlayer to this sheer dress. And again, that waist was very small, so I thought as long as I'm going to be taking it apart, let's try to enlarge it just a little bit. So this took a while. So there's a waistband piece that is boned that kind of joined the two. So it took about an hour, but I got all the pieces apart. And then there's evidence that the waist piece here had been taken in a little bit. So after I let that out, it got me to a measurement of about 24 inches. I decided to kind of shore up that end of that waistband a little bit with some vintage fabric, and then using twill tape to finish that bottom, and then also gives me something to attach to. So I attach the twill tape to the waistband and then attached that to the bodice. And now I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to gather the skirt and then made that fit to the twill tape. And instead of attaching the skirt to the top of the waistband, I opted to attach it to the bottom, which gave me a few more inches in length. Again, I think at some point this was shortened in the past to probably update it. So now I'm going to do an additional soak. In this one, I'm just starting off actually with my first soak of retro wash, and I'm going to be a little more gentle on this one. I'm not quite sure how this one is going to act with cleaning, but it actually fared quite well. So after that initial soak and rinse, then I'm going to do Orvis, which is a pH neutral detergent. So I'm keeping the water temperature fairly cool. I believe I had it at about 82, and look at the yellow water. So I'm going to rinse it, and then same thing, spot still remained. So instead of just trying the baking soda, I'm going to jump right to my go-to of the hydrogen peroxide Dawn and baking soda mixture. Now this one I did have to end up doing twice. I only let it go for 15 minutes because I wanted to be a little more cautious with this, and so it wasn't quite gone after 15, so I did it twice, and that improved it about 95%, and then let it air dry. Then I decided for that underlayer dress that I would create one, and I wanted to try to do sort of a camisole top. And then I had an antique one that I thought I'd use as the pattern, but I didn't want it to have that lace on the top because it would definitely show through on this. So I'm just kind of winging it here. And again, I don't know how to make patterns, but I just used the existing one and used some salvage material and kind of made it work. So I have a skirt that was that looked to have been salvage from the Martha's collection that I thought would work great with this. And I found some material that was similar to make the camisole cover out. So I'm going to wash the two first, and I'm doing this in Synthrapol just to get rid of any finishes or anything that might be on there that helps it to be more readily accepting of dye. And I'm just using a RIT all-purpose dye because we're working with cotton. I have a big stainless steel pot that I use for dyeing, and just kind of guessing here how much of the liquid dye to put in here. So I have a little color test sample of that fabric, and you'll see later why I chose pink. And I just wanted to give it this lovely kind of pink shade. So not really getting precise about a certain shade, but just wanting it to be in this kind of general family. So I put some twill tape in as well, which I didn't end up using. And I let it go for the recommended half hour. And then after that was done, I did some rinsing and then a wash and then more rinsing and let it air dry. So then I took those pattern pieces, and this is the building of the kind of corset cover, kind of camisole top. And I'm doing French seaming because that allows for neater edges on the seam allowances, which is wrong sides together first, then right sides together. Now that camisole's not going to win me any blue ribbon awards at a fair, but it sure certainly does the job. And it looks great with that skirt. So as found, it looks like the bottoms of the sleeves had been cut off originally. So I'd like to finish those off. So it was actually a pillow cover that had some antique lace around it that really matched quite well with the dress. So I have no idea how long ago that had been washed, so I thought I would give this a wash before I continued and then let that air dry. And I'm going to hand stitch this on, and look at how much better that is. I think that really looks sweet on there. The buttons on here were there were several of them missing, so I'm going to put glass buttons on as a replacement. And now for that sash. I have a wonderful selection of vintage ribbons, and this one I've been saving for quite a while, and now I know why. It is perfect for this project. I feel like there's so many things in my stash that I've been just saving that it's just all coming together to work for these different projects lately, and I'm just very happy about that. So I'm going to create a sash because this is going to be used to cover that boned waistband because the dress would have had one originally. So I did some machine gathering and also some hand stitch gathering on the edges and then also in the middle. And so that it's not too stiff, and I just wanted it to look more worn and that it has been around for a while. So then after that was completed, I put it in water and let it dry on the mannequin to form it. And look at how sweet that turned out. So here it is. Oh my goodness, I love this dress. And I was able to make the waist bigger too. And how sweet is that two-tone? We have the cream and the pink and just that hint of pink that peeks out from underneath. Look at the beautiful embroidery. Again, I think that was all done by hand. I just think this is an absolute gorgeous dress, and I love the addition of the pink with it, which this is of course all removable. The new owner doesn't have to use that pink with it, or they can use the pink for other objects. But I think this is an absolutely sweet, adorable, beautiful dress. And this one as well too, just two 1910s dresses with that classic Edwardian look, the sheer beautiful quality laces and fabrics. I just think this was such a pleasure to work on these projects. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be the temporary caretakers of these until they go on to their next journeys. And both of these I would consider wearable again. How sweet it would be if these were to be worn for a wedding again. This has been wonderful. I've worked really hard on this, but I'm really happy with how it turned out.